So in this video, what we're going to look at is how to create these two examples that I have here. So coloring a black and white photo, using selections and some masks to kind of fine tune some of the coloring. Okay, so let's get started with that. So I'm just going to hide these just to start. And let's say we're going to do this apple here. So I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to go ahead and get the, you can do as any of the selection tools that you want to do that. Let's just go ahead and do a quick select of this. And you can see it does a pretty good job in spots. Not so much here, and there's grabs a little bit of that. But you know what? We're going to fix that all with masking. We are going to do a couple just a little thing here. It didn't grab it all the way. Let's see what we can get. That's pretty good. All right, so I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to fill it with this orangey red color. And I'm going to change my blending mode to color. And you can see it's pretty good, but you can see it's outside. It's a little bit here, and this really shouldn't be, and it really shouldn't be on that stem. But other than that, it's pretty good. So here's the simple fix. Don't go back and rechange the, the selection. Just put a mask on it. And we're going to grab just a regular brush here. We're just going to make it smaller. And we're going to go in and just go right over top here and say, yep, that's looking good. Because we don't need it to extend past that black really. And in here, we're just going to soften that edge a little bit. We're going to zoom in to the stem here, and we're just going to take that away. We're going to do it real careful. And there we go. There's your mask affecting this. And that's what masks are really meant for doing those sorts of edits. So let's go ahead and we're going to change this one. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to grab our quick selection and make this a little bit bigger. Let's actually zoom in so you can see what I'm doing here. So we're going to make a selection. All right, so I'm just going along. Ooh, aha. Here we go. Ooh, that little went way outside. That's all right, we'll fix that in a second. So I'm going to minus some of the selections that I went a little bit too far with. And in fact, you know what? I'm not going to worry about that because we'll clean that up with the mask. How about? So I'm going to go ahead and do there's a couple things I want to make sure I include that little bit that's there. Okay, looking good, looking good. All right, so we're going to change this color now to more of an orange color. Have a new layer. We're going to go ahead and fill it. I know that I'm going to change this down to color. Okay, that looks good. Couple things that it just didn't. So where I went outside, because I changed it to color, didn't necessarily matter, so that's a good thing with the blending modes. Let's take a look. Now there's a couple things in here that are not so good. So we're actually just going to take our brush, right? So I missed a couple things. Let's see. It's really hard to tell where this starts and where it ends. So I'm just going to go over top of it with a brush and just kind of estimate. That's looking pretty good. But we are going to mask this inside here. I actually don't want that. I'm actually going to... yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and mask that out. So we're going to go ahead and hit mask. We're going to go ahead and get a brush, and we're just going to make it bigger. And I'm just going to mask that inside out. And the reason we're going to do that is I'm just going to use a different color. Now, there's many ways we could do this. But for the purpose of masking, we're going to do it this way. Okay, looking good. So now I'm going to do a new layer, and I'm going to actually make this green on the inside just so we can see it. And I'm going to use the polygonal lasso because I am just going to go ahead and stick this around the white part. Because again, when I change it to that blending mode, it'll disappear. Change it to color. Ooh. A little too bright. Let's do it darker. Let's see. Well, for all intents, but you could change that color. Back up. Where was that? It was a nice color that was in there before I said to not worry about it. Where was that? There we go. So I'm just going to now tone that back a little bit. You could change a different color, do whatever you want. But there is coloring and using masks to kind of just fine-tune some things inside of Photoshop.